Hey, beautiful people of the internet, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully great, and welcome back to another Warframe video. Of course, we are going to be talking about Xaku Prime. As you guys know, he is the latest Prime that has been released. So I do apologize for not posting in like the last 2 weeks. I've just had a lot of things on my plate. You know, I've got my coursework, I've got my full-time job, which is on a nightly basis, some other stuff, and including YouTube as well. And let's just say I'm quite the ambitious young individual. So, you know, I am quite busy and I never really find time nor the willpower to go and make a video. However, you know, I'll always make a YouTube video. I'll always do my utmost best. I am struggling, but at the same time, you know, struggling is not necessarily a bad thing. It always brings us to new heights. But enough about any of my personal rambling. Let's talk about the video here, because I'm sure you guys decided to come and watch a Warframe video and not a personal blog. So as you guys know, Xaku is the latest Prime. So guys, welcome to Budget Builds, where we use zero Forma and achieve maximum efficiency. We are taking a closer look at Xaku. Now he is a broken Warframe, and what I mean by broken, he's not OP. He is good, but he's not OP. But he is still broken, and what I mean by that is in terms of lore. So essentially, Xaku is part of a whole bunch of Warframes that have been put into one. Basically, a bunch of Warframes have been broken into different pieces, and then Void Energy decided to go and connect all those pieces all into one Warframe, therefore forming Xaku or Xaku Prime. For the first ability, we have Zarta's Whisper, and all this ability does is engulfs your equipped weapons with void damage. This particular ability works just like how Shock Trooper works on Vault. You hold down your number 1 and whatever weapon you currently have in your hands will then be engulfed with electrical damage. Just like that, except with Zarta's Whisper, you just have to push the first button and then all your weapons will be engulfed with void damage, therefore allowing you to deal aka more damage. Moving on to the second ability known as Grasp of Lock, this ability steals the enemy's weapons and turns them into floating relics that will then start firing at the original owners or any other enemies that are around there. Weapons stolen from, you know, the enemies will then disarm them, forcing them to go and use melee weapons against you, which is also another form of light crowd control. The third ability we have replaced with Necros' Terrify using the helmet, and all Terrify is going to be doing for us is to go and fully strip the armor's enemy in one singular go. I believe you need to have around 169 power strength to go and fully strip the enemy's armor in just one singular go. Finally, the fourth ability known as Vast Untime. Xaku sheds his skin and goes into skeleton mode. While this ability is active, it freezes any other active abilities of Xaku. This also excludes any ability that's not from Xaku. So if you go and use Helmet and then you want to go and activate your fourth, thinking that's going to freeze the helmet ability, things don't work that way. It's only going to freeze abilities that are exclusive or belong to Xaku or vanilla version of Xaku. Helmet abilities are excluded. Now a great thing is that any of the enemies that are hit by the shrapnel by the fourth ability will then be vulnerable to any form of damage. So here's the build for Xaku Prime. As you guys can tell, we haven't added any format because this won't be an episode of budget builds now, will it? For our aura, we are going to be rolling around with Energy Siphon, which gives us 0.6% energy back per second, which is very good. Even though we do have positive efficiency and Arcane Energize, I'm telling you guys now, the way that Xaku works is you're going to be having to, you know, cycle through all of your abilities, constantly making sure that they always have no armor, especially with Terrify, because that is a very energy hungry ability, and just having more energy back into your pocket or anything to help out your general energy economy is going to be a huge plus, just because the fact that casting abilities is not free, it is at a cost of energy. Next up is we are going to be using Adaptation just to make sure that we can go and tank all of the abilities or damage that does get thrown at us, because remember, at the end of the day, you are going to be facing high level enemies. That's why we are going to be armor stripping them, and adapting to whatever form of damage they do throw at us is a huge plus, which will help us survive a little bit longer. Next up is we are going to be using Blind Rage and Intensify for more power strength. The more power strength we have, the more damage we'll deal per weapon that is stolen. This is good because at the end of the day, it also helps us, you know, reduce the enemy's armor with Terrify. You guys need exactly 169% power strength in order to make sure that Terrify does get a armor strip in one singular cast, because at the end of the day, Terrify is a very energy hungry ability. So if you're going to use it, make sure that you only have to cast it once and then once again later, not constantly, because otherwise you're just going to demolish your energy economy entirely. Next up is we are going to be adding overextended and stretch for our range. Now the reason why we want more range is because of the fact of how Grasp of Lock works. So if you guys didn't know, Grasp of Locks actually goes and steals all of the weapons from nearby enemies based on how much range you have. With this amount of range, you're going to be having 35 meters. The more range you guys have, the more weapons you'll be able to go and use in one singular go, which further increases your DPS. The more weapons you guys have, the more enemies you can shoot in one singular go, or just the more times you can shoot at a singular target, therefore quickly depleting them and killing them quickly. And also remember, Grasp of Lock does scale based off of enemy level because you're always stealing their weapons. Next up is we are going to be using Prime Continuity for more duration, just so that our ability has some sort of longevity. I know it's only at 90%, but thanks to Fleeting Expertise, that is going to be slashed into many different pieces. Speaking of Fleeting Expertise, we are going to be using this particular mod just because of the fact that we don't want to get caught with our pants down. I know I can use Streamline, but Streamline is only going to give us an extra 30%. So with this, it's just going to allow us to have a much better energy economy. And finally, I do want to talk about our Arcanes. As for our choices, we do have Arcane Energize and Molt Augmented. Arcane Energize will just allow us to replenish our energy at, instead of giving us like 25 energy per energy pickup, we're going to be receiving 150% or 150 energy, with a 60% chance. However, it does have a 15-second cooldown. So essentially, we just want to replenish our energy, which is really good for our economy. And finally, we are going to be using Molt Augmented because at the end of the day, the more power strength we have, the more damage we can go and deal. So for our weapon of choice, we're going to be using the regular Epitaph. As you guys can tell, we haven't added any Forma because once again, this is an episode of budget builds. Now, I just want to let you guys know the whole point of this weapon is just to go and hit the enemies with 10 stacks of viral. And I also do want to say, I understand that there is an Epitaph Prime, but unfortunately, yours truly is not cool enough to go and use the Epitaph Prime. So we're just going to be sticking with the base one. If you guys do have the Prime one, go and use it. It definitely has substantially better stats than the regular one. It's just how Warframe logic does work. And the whole point of the Epitaph is just to apply 10 stacks of viral onto the enemy. If you want to know what it does, if you look at the very bottom, viral increases the damage to health up to 325% with multiple stacks for a short duration. So that means while viral is active, then is your chance to go and hit the enemy with your final damage window or your final damage or whatever, you guys know. While viral is applied, attack the enemy. And like I said, we don't want to kill anybody, we just want to go and hit them with 10 stacks of viral. So the mods are as followed. We've got Lethal Turn for more multi-shot and rare fire, Pistol Pestilence and Frostbite for to give us viral and also give us 120% extra stage chance so we can go and proc viral, Deep Freeze and Pathogen rounds to further increase our viral damage. We also do have Galvanized Diffusion for even more multi-shot. If you go and kill someone, we get even more multi-shot. And top of that, we are going to be adding Auger Pack to go and increase our overall damage when it comes to viral. Therefore, we have an enhanced version of viral. As for the Arcane, you don't have to really worry about. You don't even need any Arcane. I'm just putting this there because I was actually experimenting with heat damage on a early build. I think it was with like Ember when that new skin came out. So you don't have to worry too much about the Arcanes department. You guys can actually go and leave this blank if you want. If you guys really want, you can just go and add some sort of utility. I'm not too sure what utility you guys want, but the Arcane in this case is not important. So don't really worry about what Cascadia Flare is and why I have it. It's just there because I like having things filled in. I don't like having an empty Arcane slot, okay? That's just how it is. So of course, let me show you guys exactly how this particular lure does work. So first things first, we're just going to go and grab some energy and then go up to our enemies and hit them with 10 stacks of viral. If you guys didn't know, by hitting them with 10 stacks of viral, you substantially increase your damage output. Then you want to activate your 2 to go and steal their weapons, activate your 3 to strip their armor, activate your 4 to make sure that they're even more vulnerable to void damage, and if you want, you can also activate Zata's Whisper to make sure that your void damage is even stronger on your equipped weapons. It's not going to make too much of a difference, but all you can do is just sit back, relax, and let Zata or Xaku do all of the job for you. And as you guys can tell, all of the enemies are. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I make some pretty awesome Warframe videos, so if you guys like to go from 0 to hero as fast as humanly possible, go ahead and take a look at the rest of my Warframe videos. There'll be some suggestions at the description, and of course there'll be some suggested to you guys at top right or top left, depending on where YouTube decides to go and put them. Do remember to leave a like on this video. It always helps your boy out substantially. Spark and click the subscribe button for more Warframe videos and streams. I'm make like a banana and split.